Hey guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it. And welcome in live. It's the Casey Dick Show. We're here at Cmacs Southern Kitchen at 2190 MLK Boulevard, and we're joined by Coach as the Fayetteville Bulldogs start their defense of the state championship. And, Coach, how you feeling about it? But first I want to recap, sum up the season, and how do you guys feel heading into the playoffs?
I think number one, heading into the playoffs, we got some good momentum going. Where we are now compared to where we'd be, I felt I feel like our guys have done a really good job of handling the last 2-3 weeks of the season, with their preparation, going out on the field and continuing to climb, continuing to get better. Happy with where we are. Felt like we've had a really good 2 weeks of practice in order to go play against Pulaski Academy on Friday night. So looking forward to it, obviously. It's a big night for our community, big night for our kids. And like I said, just looking forward to go play.
When you look at this team, defensively, I thought was one of the better performances. I mean, in a driving rain, not a lot of penalties, but this team created a lot of turnovers. I mean, talk about just the progression of this defense, in particular that young secondary that just seems to get better and better from week to week.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think they've continually got better throughout the year. And in the last couple of games that you were at, really the kind of the last half of the season, I think they really started to grasp what they were doing and the amount of turnovers. Like I said, I think we had 3 or 4 against Harbor. You had 3 against the week, before that, and a couple against Springdale. And even though it wasn't an interception, but obviously those fourth down stops are always big in there as well. So I think the way that they just continually showed up and played in the second half of the year was great. And I think we're looking for big things from those guys, obviously, in the postseason as well.
3 guys that we're going to be joining us, or 4 guys, young men that will be joining the show today, Coach. Reed Slankert, Rhett Tidwell, Jackson Oliver, and Mathis Brady. 4 guys that played on last year's state championship team, and I'm pretty sure 4 seniors that you're going to rely on heavily throughout the playoffs defensive-wise. Talk about, those 4 guys and what they've meant for this season.
They just meant everything, kind of the backbone of our team as that group is. And I think anytime, we have that many number of seniors, and I think we have somewhere right around 36 or 37, but obviously those 4 guys that you mentioned, those are guys that have been the part of that core group for a long time. Grew up here, really know what it's like to be a Fayetteville Bulldog, so they understand that, they grasp it, they've looked forward to it, and just done a really great job of really setting the expectations of where we want to go on the defensive side of the ball. And I think you look at Mathis, he's really stepped up and is probably the leader over there in the secondary of understanding and knowing what we're doing, and he's played like it the last couple of weeks. I think he's up to 4 or 5 interceptions on the year now at playing corner, so I think he's continually done a great job of building. And Reed, it's just he's kind of a Swiss Army knife as far as he can handle so much mentally. We can float him around.
Right.
As far as where he can play, whether it's inside or outside, or it's a star or nickel for us, and he can do a great job. And then Rhett's just been the steady guy. He's nearing 100 tackles again on the season from where he was last year. So I think anytime, obviously, you do that year in and year out, you've done a great job of preparing and really understanding what your opponent's doing, but obviously showing up and going and taking care of business.
Offensively, what have you been pleased with this season, and what can we look forward to in the state playoffs?
I felt like we've been able to run the ball pretty consistently this year. From a standpoint of where we were, I think we've done a really good job of doing that. on a consistent basis. And we just continually have to make sure, number one, we take care of the football week in and week out. And then number two, we've got to find some ways to get the ball, obviously, to our explosive guys that can make some big plays. And then I think the big thing for where we are and where we're going right now is when we get inside the red zone, we've continually got to score points.
Right.
Especially when you play a team like PA, who everybody knows what they can do offensively. We've got to make that a priority.
The quarterback. How important is it to stop this young man? I think he's like 4th in the nation in passing and 12th, I think, in total offense. Is he like the main, person you have to control to control this offense?
He's what makes him go. He does a really good job of distributing the ball, whether that's sitting back in the pocket, whether it's sprint out. Lately, quarterback run has kind of evolved for him as well. But you look and he's continually done a great job of extending the play. And making big time throws all the time. So he's, like I said, he's what makes him go, and he's got some good guys, good playmakers around him that do a great job, of when the ball's in the air making a play on it, and they do a great job of really running their system and then capitalizing on what they can.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. As we were talking, Coach just got something he'd like to take care of here at Cmacs Southern Kitchen. What you get today, Coach? What is it?
The garlic Parmesan wings.
Ooh-wee. Well, hey, we're going to let him enjoy that, and then we'll let you meet some of the Bulldogs themselves. It's the KC Dick Show live at Cmacs Southern Kitchen. We'll be back. Hey, guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it. And welcome back here live at Cmacs Southern Kitchen, located here at 2190 MLK Boulevard. It's the KC Dick Show, and I'm joined now here on the show by senior outside linebacker, my man, Mr. Bacon Soda, Mr. Slankard himself. Reed, what's going on?
Back again. What's up?
Reed, when you think about this past 10-game season, I mean, how do you reflect on it, and what can you guys build on here in the quarterfinals?
I think we had a great season. I think you look at our record, and it might not look the best, like coming from last year. It might not look great, but I think it's been a good season. I think we just grow as a team. We're a little immature at the start of the year. We had a lot of young guys everywhere, so I think we just grow as a team. Keep trying to go out there and win them and do our little things right, and I think we'll go out there and succeed on Friday nights.
How tough was it being that senior group that had come as sophomores, played on a defending runner-up, and then having to be seniors off of a junior team that had just won the championship, undefeated? I mean, how much of more focused did you guys have to be this year?
I think we had to be a lot more focused, knowing the standard that we always go out there and win, and that we're always successful. So I think I think it's pressure out there, and I think pressure's a privilege. I think
Right.
if you have a little bit of pressure, I think that helps you. But it's a little harder knowing that you gotta be good, and that if you're not good, it won't cut it here.
When you look back at your senior year, I mean, how would you how do you feel about what you did?
I feel like I've done good. I feel like I've left it all out there I could. I'm gonna look back in 10 years and be like, yeah, that's the best I could have played, or not the best I could have played, but that's as much effort as I could have. I've taken a lot of snaps this year. I don't regret anything. Had a lot of fun out there. I just think I'm getting the most out of it, and I think that's the most important part of playing football.
That Friday, like a couple of weeks ago, Friday night up at Harbor was one that I thought was the best defensive game you guys had played.
100%.
Not a lot of penalties and just a clean football game. How can you guys build on that heading into the state playoffs?
I think it came from practice. We practiced a little bit differently. Practiced a little harder. I did a lot more discipline like things in practice. Much more like we practiced more like the game, and I think that translates on Friday nights. That you practice the details, and it's going to show on Friday night.
When you look at this offense of PA, you got a pretty dynamic quarterback. I mean,
Yes,
what are some of the keys that you see that you guys have to do this Friday night at Harmon Field defensively?
I think it stays the same. I think we got to do our job. Pulaski, they run a little bit different offense that we're usually used to up here in West. I think they sprint out a little bit more. They don't run as much. I think we just all got to be attention to the details and knowing what our job is on each and every play. And if we do that, then I think we'll come out on top Friday night.
I have a few more guys that's going to be on the show here shortly. A couple of your teammates on the defensive side in Tidwell, Mathis, and Oliver. Tell me a little bit about those guys and how special it's been to play with them.
I think each one of them brings a little of their own stuff to the game. Rhett, insane, sure tackler. I think he's up to almost 100 tackles on the year. That's good. Playing Jo. I mean, every time he's getting a double. So less guys off me, less guys off Rhett. So that helps me a lot. I think that helps our defense a lot. And Mathis, I don't know how many picks he's up to this year. I've lost count after the Heritage game. So having those three guys just helps my job out a lot easier and just makes our defense, I think, the best in the state.
What's the biggest thing that you can draw from in your experiences the last 2 years, just you personally going into the state playoffs?
I think just knowing why you do it, making those keeping those connections with the teammates, and just just have fun out there. I think people go too far and put a lot more pressure on themselves than they need to. I think you just go out there and have fun and play football like you did the first 10 games of the season. I think you have a great time. I think you come out on Friday night. I think you just got to have a good time out there.
Are you kind of excited how you guys have to do it? And then I was telling someone out and about town that since Coach Dick has been the head coach, this is only the second road playoff game that we've if you make it to the state championship, you'd have to be at Bryant. But how much sweeter would that be, and more motivation to have to do it not at home, but also go on a semi, on the road and then to Little Rock. How special would that be?
I think that puts a little. I think that just makes it a little bit better. I mean, we did the home playoff game obviously last year. And I think going on the road, it would make our state championship game a little easier. It would just make the state championship feel a little less pressure than usual. I think we played good on the road. I think when we went down to Cabot, I think we played amazing down there. I think I don't think going on the road's a struggle for us. So I think it'll be a little more fun out there.
Now I know you had your senior night at Harmon Field, but this is and will be the last time that you get a chance to play at Harmon Field in your career. When you think about just all the junior high, I know playing at times little pee-wee football. I mean, all that goes through. I mean, how special has it been? And just describe what it feels like to be a player and having played at Harmon Field.
I think Harmon brings the best atmosphere in the 7A. I think the town just rallies together to come support the Bulldogs. I think the one game, Texas was insane. I think that running out to that game, I realized how special Harmon actually is and how there's so much tradition at Harmon. We like to say there's no hope at Harmon. And I think Harmon's a very special place to play football, and I've gone through that my whole life, so it's going to be tough to let it go.
Well, hey, there you had it. Hey, this guy, number 23, you'll be hearing
There
his
we
name
go.
on our broadcast a lot this
There
Friday.
we
If
go.
you're
Yeah,
not
you
doing
will.
anything, tune in 6:15. If you miss the show, you'll get a chance to catch it, and then there'll be kickoff. And, hey, it's all about the dogs after that. But
Yes, sir.
thanks, Rhett. Hey, we'll catch up on Friday.
I'll catch up.
Hey, we'll be back. It's the KC Dick Show, live from Cmacs Southern Kitchen. Hey guys, this is Pat Jenkins of On the Hill Media and voice of Fayetteville High Bulldogs Athletics. Make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's On the Hill Media. Make sure you hit the bell for all notifications. As we say, let's get it. And welcome back here live at CMAX Southern Kitchen. It's the KC Dick Show as the Bulldogs prepare for the first round quarterfinal matchup versus PA. But you got to meet some of the dogs, and what's more important than defense, because that's what wins championships. And I'm joined now by the man that leads the line, my guy, J.O. Jackson Oliver. What's up, my man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Jay,
Great.
when you think about this past 10 games, your senior year as a defense, I mean, where do you think you guys improved, and what do you guys have to do to repeat as the state champions?
Well, we just all have to have the same mindset and all go out and, pursue our goal. And we all have, one goal in mind, and that's, get to state. But we also know we still got to bow our necks and do our job and stay on top of everything, and we going to get the job done.
Jay, you were one of the guys as a sophomore had a chance to come in and play on the runner-up state championship team. So you kind of had a chance to see what that felt like. And then last year had an even larger role on that 13-0 team that went undefeated as your junior year. I mean, how do you think you guys can pull from those two experiences going into your senior year of the state playoffs?
Like I said, still with the mindset, it's the same thing from last year going up to this year. Yeah, we lost a couple players, but it's just like we all still got the same goal in mind and just the same work ethic, and we just do our thing.
How much do you think you guys grew from that? Just that one bad Friday night back several weeks ago against Bentonville to now.
It's been a drastic change. I'm gonna be honest. In practice, from when it comes to just everything from the weight room into the film room, just everything has changed. We just rules. And we all just matured ourselves, and we, bounced back, and now we're looking way better than we were before.
Now, Jay, I tell everybody a couple of weeks ago when I left the stadium, it was the best performance I thought, offense, defense, special teams, in particular, because it was pouring rain.
Yeah,
guys, we'd not been in those elements, but just the way to hold a team that had put a lot of points, maybe not have the record, but they were putting points on people. You guys, 51 yards and 7 points. I mean, just talk about that, and how can you guys take that performance into Friday night?
It's just all so hopefully we can keep the momentum from last week. We did coming off a bye, might have knocked a little bit off, but not. I don't think it will. But that game in particular, it was a tough one, but it was a fun one at the same time. That team, they did average about 35 to maybe even 40 points a game, but I mean, just do your job, man. It's as simple as that.
Preparation. I mean, I don't think there's a better team defensively. You prepare by two more awesome coordinators in Coach Davis and Coach Britt. Just talk about just the weekly preparation that those guys go
Man,
through.
Coach Davis, something about him that I've always known is that he is always on top of it. He always, got us a great game plan. It don't matter. Our scouting report gonna be like 40 pages long. He want us to make sure we got everything right. He makes sure everything right, and he's just a great coach in general. And he gonna make sure we gonna get the job done for sure.
Now, your senior year in particular, I mean, pretty much you've reached some goals, and with that commitment to UCA,
Yes, sir.
big ups and
Yes,
congratulations.
sir.
I don't even think I mean, that's just the beginning. But just how have you assessed your senior year, and what's still left on the bone?
I feel like there's a lot left on the bone for sure. Definitely for me, knowing I still got a couple more years under my belt, but knowing seeing how much I've grown and seeing my teammates grow at the same time, it's just a blessing, and I'm just thankful to be able to be here to play this game and just have fun.
Watching the film of PA offensively, what do you guys have to do defensively to move on to that semifinal round and a chance to move to Little Rock the following week?
Man, we just gotta I say just beat the sprint out, make sure they don't get in the perimeter, and I feel like we're gonna be all right. They don't. I'm not gonna throw no shots.
Now we had Reed on, and I was telling Reed, I was talking to somebody out and about town, and this is only if you guys were to go on the road in the semifinals, only the second state playoff game on the road since Coach Dick has been the head coach. How special would it be to do it this way on the road, beat that team nobody expects you to beat, and then be able to finish it out in Little Rock?
I mean, it'll be amazing. We've always, been like some type of an underdog in some way, so we always gonna try and do our best to come out on top. But it would be pretty nice for us to shock the world once again.
Now, I talked to you at one of the basketball games last year, and you guys were coming in with a 20-4 class overall record. Now, if you guys were to close this out and get 3 wins, that makes you 31-6. The last class that just left went 30-7. Is that something that you guys as a senior group really are going to use as motivation these next 3 weeks?
For sure. I mean, I've always wanted to make sure I do the best I can in everything, and I want to, be number one in everything. So it'll be a little something to, have a little over them. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm gonna have some fun with it. We were up in the press box. My guy sitting right over here, myself, and the boiled chicken man, Mr. Calhoun.
Oh my goodness!
The ball is snapped, and all we see, Demetrius, is big number 99 coming through there and making that block. I walk in, and there's a story, Demetrius. I walk in to tell him he's got the special teams. He already know. I mean, he's already like, yeah. He ain't heard nothing about the defense. He don't want that. How special was that to get that award?
It was special, man, because a crazy story that my mom told me is that my brother also got the same award on the same exact day in his senior year.
Yes,
so it's
he
just,
did.
it's real cool for something like that to happen. It's a crazy coincidence, but it's real cool.
Now, final question. I mean, I know you had your senior day. You did that walk, but this is and will be the final time that you get to go out there on Bulldog at Harmon Field and play that football game. I mean, just talk about the experience. And for those, because I've been there, I understand, but just what it's been like, to have a playing high school career at Harmon Field.
Man, it's just been a blessing since a kid, just playing on that field from the AAU days and the elementary and the Boys and Girls Club, and just watching all types of games on that field and wanting to be on that field and play. It's just amazing, and it sucks that it's gonna be one of my last, but I gotta have fun with it.
Well, my man, hey, thanks for taking time out. We got a whole bunch more Purple Rain to bring to this table. J.O., we'll see you on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we'll be back. I believe we got the Mathis touch, and we also got Mr. Tidwell himself. It's the KC Dick Show, live from Cmacs Southern Kitchen. And welcome back here live. It's the KC Dick Show here at Cmacs Southern Kitchen at 2190 MLK Boulevard. And yes, the Dogs are about to defend, or try to at least defend, their state championship. And one of the young men that helped with that 13-0 season and even has had a better season, I say it's the Mathis touch back there in the secondary. Mathis Brady, what's up, my man?
How's it going?
Mathis, senior year. When you reflect back on the 10 regular season games, what do you think you guys can take heading into the playoffs?
Honestly, I can really tell, a difference from just – I love seeing our team just grow from the first game all the way up until the playoffs. The playoffs is a time, kill or be killed, and it's just a great time. Our physicality, how fast our defense is, not just our defense. Our offense is great too, but I'm going to brag a little bit on the defense. But, our DBs, all of our DBs, just great, hard hitters, I don't know. I think it's a really good look.
You in particular, I know you were injured.
I was.
Last year in the state playoffs, I believe, caught an interception and had a mishap with your knee. How special is it for you to be able to come back your senior year and have the type of year that you've had?
Oh, it's so good because, the entire offseason, I injured my knee once during week 7 with the pick and then re-injured it again in state. And I had the entire offseason dedicated to just coming back. It was 8 months, every single day. No days off, no weeks off. It's just very satisfying, and it's a great feeling to come back and do as well as our team has done, and
Now
be able
being
to
the
help out,
senior leader of that secondary, a lot of younger guys back there. You're the elder statesman back there.
Sir.
How does that feel to be able to be a leader with guys like Kenyon Johnson, who's just now coming back, didn't play last year, Kendrick Williams, and those guys. Brody Jones, Mr. Charlie Garton, and those guys. How special is it to be the leader back there after kind of being an understudy for what you went through last year with those type of guys?
Yes, sir. I had about three seniors in particular last year that would mentor me, and it meant the world when they were teaching me. And just to be able to do that and fill the shoes of those seniors that to be in that spot, with Brody, Kenyon, Charlie, especially Kendrick, all of them. It's great to see them shine, and I love picking them up whenever they're feeling down. It's a great feeling to help them.
Coach Landry and Coach Britt. To have D-back coaches, especially with Coach Britt being, co-defense coordinator. How big is that to have a guy that is so prepared when Friday arrives?
Yeah, I think about it quite frequently. Honestly, he watches a ton of film, tons. Him and Coach Davis, they just watch film on just hours of it, and I'm just so thankful for it because I think that really connects how our defense works. Coaches don't watch film. They don't know what they're doing. It's a huge role. And last year's 13-0 season, this year's defending state champion season. So I think it's a very significant role. And
which leads me into my next question. Having been a sophomore and been on that team that had come off runner-up to a state championship, then last year as your junior year, you guys go 13-0. How much do you think this group of seniors can draw from being really on both sides of the fence heading into Friday night?
I think next year, I think our team is going to be still really good. I think the seniors this year, it's a very big impact on I don't know. It's going to be a good year for them next year. I'm excited to see how they're going to turn out. Last year after our 13-0 season, after all the seniors left, they all thought that we weren't going to be maybe even lucky just to barely get a winning record. But look at us now. We're 8-2, so I think it's.
I was telling Jo, last year's group went 30-7 as a senior group over 3 years now. If you guys win the remaining 3 games of your high school career, you leave out of here 31-6 as a group. How much of a motivating factor you think that's going to be as a senior group?
Oh yeah, because I have a bunch of buddies that I still talk with that were on the 13-0 season last year, and they just they give us a lot of crap for what happened with Bentonville. That was an off game. I think everyone on the team knows that, but they still give us a little crap. So if we could compete with that and then have that record, I'd be good to we had this record at the end of the season, so. Blah, blah, blah.
The PA comes in with a really good quarterback, a lot of good numbers. What do you guys see on film that you don't have to do on Friday night?
He's a very big scrambler. He that's probably his not his main. His main thing is when he's I can't think of the word, but
Extending plays with his legs.
he very big scrambler. We've been working all these past 2 weeks. We're coming off a bye week, and we've been working just really hard on the scrambling drill. When he's running out the pocket, that's going to be our our toughest thing Friday night.
Mr. Interception here, and since we're at Cmacs, a few weeks ago received the Cmac Defensive Player Award. 3 interceptions, Mathis. I mean, that night. What are you feeling when you're having one of those type of nights?
I mean, it's a great feeling. Obviously, I mean, it's very surreal. I kind of just wasn't really expecting them to keep throwing it to me, and they just kept chucking the ball over my direction, and that was all in the first half. Honestly, I really wish they would have kept me in. See where that would have gone. Maybe I broke a record or something. I don't know.
Last question, and then when you go out Friday, as I've spoken with Reed and J.O., I mean, that will be the final time you get to take the field as a Fayetteville Bulldog at Harmon Field. I mean, how special of a night do you think that's going to be?
Man, it's crazy to think. I mean, growing up, I've been coming to football games since I was about 9 years old. I can't remember the name of the player, but I still have the gloves in my room of some player when I was a 9-year-old, and just to go from that 9-year-old getting the gloves to be able to give, I gave my arm sleeve to some kids, and it just really made me, it's a very surreal moment. Thankful for everything that's ever happened, but I'm gonna go out there and play my heart out, leave everything on the field.
When you look over and you see Reed, Red, J.O., guys that you've been with since your freshman year, I mean, and you guys going to be four of the main defensive players. Haven't been in that spot, how much do you relish that opportunity to know that you get to go to war with those type of guys?
Those are my brothers. I fight for them, and they'll fight for me. We got each other's backs, and it's a great feeling to know that someone will have my back as much as I have theirs.
Hey, there you heard it from the Mathis Touch, Mathis Brady. Hey, we'll be back with much, much more. It's the KC Dick Show live from Cmacs Southern Kitchen. And welcome back to Cmacs Southern Kitchen. It's the KC Dick Show, located here at 2190 MLK Boulevard here in Fayetteville. And I'm joined by our final Bulldog, and he just might be the heart and soul of that defensive side we call the Purple Rain, Mr. Rhett Tidwell. RT, what's up, man?
Sir, what's up?
Senior Rhett, 10 weeks gone. I mean, when you think about the season, what can you guys take into the state playoffs this weekend?
I mean, I feel like we fought every game. Like, we had Bentonville, obviously, worst game of the year, but, like, second half, we fought back. I think they scored once in the second half, and offense ended up getting a score and a field goal. But, we've just fought every game, and these last few games, we've really finished games out, the right way. And we learned that from Texas, not necessarily finishing as well as we want to. And so, like, just all year we've just kind of learned, like, who we are.
Right.
And we just got to continue to take what we've learned into the playoffs.
When you think back to your senior year, you come in an all-state linebacker. I mean, how have you seen your game grow? And, I mean, what do you feel good about heading into Friday night?
I mean, I feel good about our defense as a whole has really grown, I feel like, this whole year. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, kind of struggled a little bit, especially, like, the Texas game, let up 50-something points. And then, first half of Bentonville kind of struggled. But, you know, we've really these last few games, like Harbor was one of the top scoring
Right.
teams in 7A West, and I think they scored, what was it, 6?
7 points.
7, yeah.
51 yards.
Like, but yeah, I mean, I feel like just our whole defense has just came together and kind of bought in to what we're trying to do and has been prepared for each game. And I feel real confident about our preparation coming up this week.
When you look at this PA offense, I mean, we all know, you know, it's a very prolific offense the Bruins have. But what have you seen defensively that you guys are really going to have to focus on here Friday night at Harmon Field?
They do a lot of, obviously, go for 4th down. And so just know we got to defend 4 downs and not necessarily 3 downs. And just got to be, you know, on our best game, be fresh. And obviously, they throw the ball pretty well. They spread you out. Just get it to open space and just create leverage for them for better opportunities. And so we just got to take advantage of that and really just play our type of defense. And I think if we play like ourselves, we'll be good.
Your 4 brothers that were before you here on the show, and Mathis Brady, Reed Slankard, and Jackson Oliver, how special and how important do you think it's going to be? You guys were major contributors outside of, you know, Mathis being hurt. You 3 were on the field a lot in that state championship run.
Sir.
How much do you think you guys can pull from that and be the 4 or the 3 or 4 leaders that can kind of take the younger guys who maybe hadn't been through it? Because, I mean, some of you guys, you know, went through it as sophomores on that defending state championship team. How much are you relishing that role these next 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, really just got to, like all of us, especially the ones who played last year, just got to be leaders, you know, kind of locking everybody in during practice, especially the younger guys, just helping them out, just teaching them kind of by action too, like just showing them how it's supposed to be done. And, you know, just all 3 of us, like Reed ended up playing star last year after Jeff went down, and new position for him, but really locked in state and was a huge contributor, him and Jaden Holt. And obviously J.O. at Noah's all year, just incredible. But, yeah, we all just got to, you know, just bring everyone else with us as we're going into these playoffs.
Now, I know me and you talked last year, you and I should say, at one of the basketball games, shortly after that state championship run, and we talked about this junior class heading in 20-4 as a class. Now, you do know if you guys win the next 3 ball games, you guys leave out of here 31-6. Last class was 30-7. Is that going to be a motivating factor?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we got a lot of friends up in that upper class, and you know, they know the record. And like I talked to Landon Jones this last week, he texted me and he was telling us just good luck in the playoffs, but he actually mentioned mentioned the record. But yeah, I mean, it's not the biggest concern. Obviously, we want to win all the games, so you know, but yeah, I mean, you got those guys that are messing with you, but also cheering you on. So it's pretty big.
Last question, Friday. I know you had your senior walk, the Heritage game, but Friday will be the last time that you get to suit up as a Fayetteville Bulldog and run out of that tunnel in that stadium of Harmon Field. I mean, how surreal, and, you know, just when you reflect on that, I mean, how special has it been to play on Friday nights at Harmon?
Yeah, it's real special. I mean, obviously, like what Mathis said earlier, you remember coming to games as a middle school, junior high, and just kind of looking up to those guys, and then realizing that this is going to be our last game at home. It's kind of crazy, but you just got to go at it like any other game, really, and keep the same preparation. And obviously, you just got that little extra motivation with it being the last game. And so you just want to finish out strong at home.
Well, hey, you heard it. Hey, we're going to come back with Coach Casey Dick and wrap this thing up. Rhett Tidwell, check him out. He wears number 9 on Friday night. We'll be back. It's the KC Dick Show live from Cmacs Southern Kitchen. Yeah, I already know what he get ready to get into. 2 minutes and we done. Yeah, he be killing, dog. He be killing. Reed, what'd you get? What'd you get, Mathis? Man, you better get it. All you got to do is get it and eat it later tonight. That's the smart thing to do. That's how you do it. All right, 3 quick questions. We out.
My shadow.
And welcome back here at Cmacs Southern Kitchen, located at 2190 MLK Boulevard here in Fayetteville. It's been the Casey Dix Show as we just wrapped up with a bunch of the defensive Bulldogs. And Coach, last year they were on the field for quite a lot in those important runs. What better way to have the defense start off the week here on your show?
Absolutely. I think, when you look at those guys and the job that they've done and, like we talked about earlier, the growth that they've had, really our kids have had throughout the entirety of the year has been really special, and that's what we expect from those guys. We talk to them all the time about, you don't want to be playing your best football week 4, 5, 6. You want to make sure at the end of the year you're really taking that next step and pushing on to the next one. And I think that's shown. I think they've grown, and I think they've gotten better. I think they've got a better understanding. And I think they've played really well the last couple of weeks.
Real quick, offensively, defensively, keys to the game to advance to the semifinal round a week from Friday.
Yeah, from an offensive standpoint, we've got to make sure we finish drives. We talked to him about it last week. I think it's the word that we use this week for all of our kids is finish. And really, I'll encompass that into everybody. Number one, everybody knows we've got to field the onside kicks, and we've got to make sure that we're doing a good job and have a good plan for that. And they've had a great plan really for about the last 2.5 weeks. They just didn't know it at that time why we were doing it, but we've been working on those for a while now. We got to finish drives on offense. Obviously, when we get in good quality field position, we got to take advantage of that. We've got to hold the ball, try to keep them off the field as much as possible, just in order to limit the snaps. Because you look at their film, and I think the teams that hold them below really, 85 snaps or around 80 to 85 snaps are the ones that have success. And then there's a couple of games where they have had upwards of over 100, 105, 110 snaps. So we got to make sure we finish drives on each side of the ball. They're a huge team that plays with leverage, and we have to understand that from a defensive perspective, of understanding where it's going to go, why it's going, where it's going to go. And then from an offensive standpoint, we've got to do a good job of creating that and taking advantage of that. And then, lastly, it takes both of them together. We've got to do a great job of having explosive plays on offense, and then we've got to do a great job on defense of limiting those explosive plays. And I think, it really our secondary, like I said, has done a good job throughout the year.
Right.
So I think that they'll come out and play well and play really good. It's just we've got to do a good job of really limiting those opportunities for them for sure.
Well, Coach, just look into the camera and tell the fans of Fayetteville if they're not doing anything on Friday night, why they should come to Harmon Field.
It's a great night to come to Harmon Field week before Thanksgiving. Obviously not a whole lot going on in order for preparation and prep for Thanksgiving. It's a great atmosphere for high school football, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids in the city or town of Fayetteville. If you're coming up early for the Louisiana Tech game, come on over to Harmon Field, and you'll see a great product and a bunch of great kids that want to go play for each other.
Also, too, get there early. There's a lot going on around Bulldog Stadium, as you got, I believe, basketball, soccer. You got a lot going on, but, hey, make sure you come to Harmon Field and cheer on the Bulldogs. We want to thank our sponsors, Lindsay & Associates, First Choice Protection Systems, Fayetteville Glass, and Cmacs Southern Kitchen. For my producer, D, and Coach, I'm going to let Coach say my final words.
Let's get it, Pat.
We'll holler. See you on Friday. If you're not doing anything, 7 o'clock on the Hill Media. We got you.